At 7 o'clock, we got Wyoming, who went 3-9 last year, and Akron, who went 4-8. Wyoming favored by 7 on ESPN Plus. Evan Svoboda for the Cowboys has gone 111 of 226 last year, threw for 1,318 yards, 5 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Wyoming actually threw more interceptions last year than touchdown passes. Not great. Sam Scott had 92 carries for 435 yards and 3 touchdowns. He is, weirdly enough, their leading rusher in a team that did not pass the ball that effectively. The fact that that's the leading rusher is very sad. Jalen Sargent had 23 catches for 480 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ben Finley for the Zips went 212 of 387, threw for 2,604 yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Jordan Simont had 110 carries for 664 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Adrian Norton, sorry, my handwriting's awful, had 43 catches for 831 yards and 7 touchdowns. These two teams have never played, which I think is really interesting. They're going to be playing for the first time in Akron. Both these teams had really bad years last year. Wyoming was kind of expected. They were coming off a really, really good 2023 season. And they were phenomenal in that season. But their head coach retired. There was a lot of change at a lot of different positions. And Wyoming was expected to take a step back. 3-9 was a massive step back from where they were before. But it was a step back nonetheless. Akron is interesting. I think this was the 3rd year under Joe Moorhead. And believe it or not, 4-8 is an improvement. 2 years ago, Akron was by far the worst team in college football. I don't know, by far. They were close. Them and Kent State were dueling it out for worst team in college football. And last year, as bad as 4-8 was, and it was not a good season, they weren't even close to Kent State when you're talking about worst team in college football. They won 4 more games than them, and they won 4 games. Again, Kent State wins 0-12 last year. We're going to talk about them later in a different vid. But Akron is substantially better than they were 2 years ago, and definitely better than they were 3 years ago, right? And I think Akron's going to be better this year than they were last year. By the way, Wyoming returns Sam Scott and Jalen Sargent, their leading rusher and receiver. They do not bring back their leading passer, although that could be, honestly, a positive. Akron does not bring back their leading rusher or receiver, but they do bring back their starting quarterback in Ben Finley, which I think is going to be a win in this one. Akron is an underdog by 7. I think that line maybe has changed to 8, up to 8. I think Akron's honestly the better football team. I think Akron has gotten better year over year over Joe Moorhead. I mean, not substantially. Again, this is not a team that has gone from 0-12 to suddenly 10-2, right? This is a team that has slowly, incrementally gotten better. This is a big year for Joe Moorhead, right? I think Akron needs to make a bowl game in his 4th year. If they want to, if he wants to stay the head coach of the Akron Zips. And I think, honestly, they get there. I think Akron, this isn't the strongest MAC in the world this year. I think this is doable. If you're Akron, I think it is at least possible to go and get to a bowl game level. And I think starting here against a not great Wyoming team is big. Again, Ben Finley was leagues better than anything Wyoming had under center last year. And I think he's going to be leagues better than anything Wyoming has under center this year. I think Akron's going to win this one. I like the upset here. Give me Akron to win, and I like Akron, obviously, to cover at home.